Hey everyone. Well, farming is not over with for 2023, but it is wrapped up and we're getting a bunch of rain. So I didn't have time to do many videos last couple months, but luckily things are happening. They're always happening behind the scenes, and this is going to be like a true revival, I hope, with this tractor here. I'm really excited about this one. I will go into a little bit of detail and try not to bore you to death on how I arrived at this particular tractor. When I first started farming, I bought a few tractors from a person around the corner from me. The first one that caught my eye was a John Deere 730. Always wanted one of them. And then I ended up buying my Ford 4000 row crop model from him. Row crop, it's like a 4200 is the technical term for it, but you sit over the rear end and transmission as opposed to straddling it. And that tractor I just kind of fell in love with. So as time went on, I kind of kept growing the farm a little bit here and there. I ended up buying a 6-row corn planter, and I didn't have anything to pull it with that was big enough. I had dreams of using the 730, but the hydraulics were a limiting factor. And then I had my heart set on a 7,000 row crop. I actually almost came to terms with one and realized that was going to be an issue with hydraulics too, the more I read about. That planter I have has a Unverfirth strip till attachment on the hitch, and also has a 300-gallon liquid fertilizer capacity. And by the time you have all that added up with a 6 bins full of seed, I just wasn't confident that the hydraulics on a 7,000 were going to be the one. So I knew about this tractor. This has been a local tractor for its whole life. Belonged to a good friend of my dad's, someone that I met infrequently, I guess, in my childhood. Real nice guy. Taught my tractor safety course when I was, 12 or 14, somewhere in there. Diesel mechanic. Farmed a little bit, and I knew he had one of these. I stopped over and inquired about it because I had heard he wasn't farming anymore. It didn't appear to be when I drove by. And unfortunately, he had gotten into a bad medical situation and sadly enough never made it out of it. And so he passed away a few years back, and I had bought a grain drill. Well, let me go back. I didn't end up buying from him at the time because this was actually his favorite tractor. So I ended up with a 9,000. 9,000 is basically the same thing as this. Focus. It's not working. Let me go back. There we go. Same tractor, but turbocharged. A few differences in the internals of the engine to make up for the turbocharger's extra heat and need for oiling capacity. But yeah, this is an 8,000. I fell in love with the 9,000. I've actually kind of fallen in love with the 1,000 series Fords in general. Probably because I've had such good luck with mine. I've got a 5,000 row crop now, the 9,000, and then hopefully this. So randomly this farming season, I texted the owner of this tractor, and she said, yeah, I think it's time to part with it. But something happened, I guess, and this is where we're at now, kind of to unscramble solve a puzzle, I guess. This was actually blocking the grain drill I bought 5 years ago now, somewhere in there. And local farmer friend came over and came over and got this tractor running. It had been sitting for a while. Moved it out, move the drill out, back this back in, shut it off. Running fine, according to him. Went to start it again, and evidently it wouldn't turn over. So he said it would roll over. He used the bolt on the crank snout, apparently. As you can see over here, it's kind of dark, but he took the side panel off, and I don't know if those lights work up there. It'd be nice. Anyways, took the side panel off, was able to rotate the engine a little bit, but not all the way around. So he actually popped the injection pump cover off to see if that was binding, because evidently there was some issues with the injection pump when they were still using this tractor, and that wasn't it. That doesn't surprise me. I'm not really, I don't buy into that theory, but worth a shot, and that's where it sits now. So instead of buying it as is, which would potentially mean quite a bit lower cost or selling price for the owner, she's a friend, obviously the wife of the guy who passed away, and kind of a legendary guy around here. But to be fair to all of us, she's been kind enough to let me work in his old shop here on this tractor and kind of diagnose what's wrong with it, so we can come up with the best possible way of transferring it to me, knowing full well what it needs or doesn't need, and take all the speculation out of it. So that's what we're doing. We're going to shoot this video, and my hopes are whatever bad English, we can come out of here with it driving, and I can drive it home. It's about, 12, 17 miles away from here, from my house. But I figured I'd take a movie of everything we do and take you along with the good or the bad of how this goes. So let's just take a walk around this tractor quick. Take a look at what it is. Ford 8000s, I think we're 105 horsepower. It's a 6-cylinder engine, 401 cubic inches. Call these a square engine, I guess, because the bore and the stroke are the same. Non-turboed, non-sleeve type. I mean, I love these tractors. I've heard a lot of people have mixed emotions or feelings on this series Fords. Ford guys love them, I guess. I've had really good luck with the ones I have, so I love them. But maybe I'm just getting lucky too. They obviously sold a heck of a lot more John Deeres and Internationals of the day, but anyways, I like it. The transmission is a dual power transmission, which means it has dual power with Ford's torque amplifier. It's kind of hard to see. The way you can tell if there isn't a sticker is there's you switch from high and low on the floor. There's two little buttons in there that you can shift with your feet while you're moving. It's 4-speed transmission with a high and low. So you've got quite a few options for gears. This one, there are weights in the barn, so I think it's got a full stack of front weights. Front tires are in good shape. One of the reasons I really love this tractor, other than it belonged to this guy, and he bought it brand new, and he bought it from this dealer out in Weedsport, I guess, Weedsport, New York. And I love local dealer stickers. I think those are just so cool. My 9000's been painted, so that dealer sticker's gone, if it did have one on it. But I like the patina of this. I would just keep this as it is and try to, preserve this paint job with some sort of special blend like everyone seems to be doing nowadays. It's got spin-out rims. One of the first things I'm going to do today is replace the valve stem on this one because it's hard to see in this darkness, but the valve stem has got it's just seeping. And that's not rusted through this rim yet, but it's made it very ugly, and we got to stop it before it gets any worse. Spin-out rims, 2 wheel weights on each side, so that's good. Rear tires, I wouldn't be shocked if these are original. These are, I think, Armstrong tires. And the tractor shows just under 4,000 hours, which, unless the tack cable's broken, I believe it to be correct. The pedals are still pretty sharp, so I would imagine those are probably original tires. Ford's 8000s, 9000s, and the next series 8600 and 9600 have these goofy fenders with the lights integrated into them. They're a combination of fiberglass and steel sides, steel skeleton, I guess. They're hard to find. And these are in good shape for obvious reasons. If you hit something with these, they crack and break compared to steel where they just bend. So to find a set in good shape anymore, because I don't believe anyone's remaking them, is hard. My 9000 was a cab tractor, so I took that right off. I was fortunate enough to find 2 sets. Actually, I ended up with 3 sets. I was just hoarding them every chance I got. I've sold 1 set since, and I've got a good set on the tractor, and then a spare set just in case. I don't know. I don't have the heart to sell them, so I'll probably never find another one. These are in good shape, minus the rear work light seems to have been ripped out. So there's almost a perfectly round hole there, which I think what I would do is just put the rear work light on there with a machine a great big washer or something to cover that up, kind of sandwich it in. But still got the original seat. See a lot of these things with aftermarket like Tractor Supply seats on them. That's what my 9000 has. I actually bought one of these assemblies in about the same shape as this to put it back to original. I just haven't done it yet. But kind of dark over here, so I'm going to try to figure out how to turn those other lights on. This room's in really nice shape compared to the other one. You could get on from either side. They have 2 remotes, 3-point. Give you the view from up here. From the driver's seat. So yeah, here's the tack. Just a tickle under 4,000 hours. Tilt steering wheel. Like I said, dual powers at your feet. Transmission controls are here. You got it in neutral. That's good. And everything else is over here. All your other controls. They did have idiot lights for oil pressure, unfortunately, and charging, so I'll probably bring my external oil pressure gauge over. But fuel tank sits behind the driver. One thing I really enjoy about these tractors is you sit up nice and high, and they're kind of, you're forward of the rear axle a bit, so it's a nice view. You can really, I used to cultivate and plant a lot of corn and soybeans with my 9000 until I bought the Magnum with a cab. But boy, I spent a lot of time in a position similar to this, and just grinning from ear to ear, going out and planting corn or cultivating some organic soybeans, and it's a good spot to sit. I mean, I sat on 40/20s and open station internationals, and this is just as good as them. when everything's working. They have a good sound to them. These aren't actually straight piped. This is how they were. There's a muffler tucked in under the hood. I think you can see it once we start working on it. Yeah, that's it. Really, really excited to work on it. I hope that we can get it figured out, and then, oh gosh, don't fall over. It's too early. I haven't even changed my clothes yet. Yeah, I think the muffler's tucked in the other side. That's the air cleaner housing. But yeah, I'm hoping nothing's too bad in it. We're gonna check some basics and try to get some light in here and change that valve stem first. But we'll get going and see what happens. So let's do it. All right, so I pulled the oil filter out, and I don't see any sign of metal flakes in here, so that's good. I didn't think I would, but I wanted to check it. I wasn't the one that quit or didn't start on, so gotta start with the basics first. I did replace that valve stem. That actually came out really good. I jacked up the rear end. Come on, focus. Jacked up to one side, and hopefully it's holding. Took a little bit of the pressure off, but yeah, that shouldn't leak anymore. We'll see. But yeah, I think next I'm gonna pull the starter, pull some injectors, see if we can see down in there, and see if it'll roll over. You just can't get a lot of solid, steady torque going off the crank snout bolt. So, and I don't want to snap it off and screw something up. So that's what we'll do next. Okay, got the starter out. Ring gear looks pretty good. I never really like doing it this way, but it just seems like a better way to try turning this over. I'm not going to put too much force on it. Then going off the front of the engine. I could do this first, and then I'll pull the injectors. I bought it, like I said, I bought a boroscope from Hobo Freight. I didn't really want to take it out of the packaging unless I absolutely had to. Even the ones from Hobo Freight weren't. I just didn't really want to spend the money on one, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Hopefully this way I can roll it back and forth in both directions in case it is up against some sort of obstruction in the cylinder. I could go backwards, because the way it's going to rotate now is going to be the way it would rotate when you started. So if I pry, so it's going that way. I want to be able to try to make it go, what would that be, counterclockwise. So let's try it out. Okay, engine's definitely tight. I tried both directions with enough force that it should move it, even if it was stuck, just kind of in one spot from sitting, it should just still roll over. So I guess it's on to the injectors, and we'll get the boroscope down in there, see what happens. All right, I was struggling getting the even one injector out. So this is a different day. I'm back. I brought some of my small indexing pry bars to kind of get into this tight space. I've gotten 2 out so far, 1 and 3. Two's being stubborn. But I pulled the injector lines out. Didn't see anything in number 1 because it's too, it's top dead center. So there wasn't much to see, but there was some weird stuff in number 3. I'm gonna, here, I got my Hobo Freight boroscope out. Let me poke this down here. I need 2 hands, and I'll show you. Now you can kind of see some metallic looking stuff in there. So I'm not sure what exactly that is, but I'm going to, I mean, it's hard to see what the cylinder walls look like with this scope. So other than some stuff in there, I'm just going to continue on, keep looking. I'll probably go to Tractor Supplier or something and get some acetone and what do you call it, ATF, do a 50-50 mix, and it won't hurt to dump that stuff in there. It looks dry for sure. One way or the other, this engine's seized. So I don't know. I'm definitely not here. The person who told me the stories about this, the one who actually moved it out from the drill, I just, I'm not calling him a liar, but I don't know if there's pieces of this story missing. From what he's telling me, I don't even know if this thing's run, to be honest with you. I don't. But we'll find out. One way or the other, it's stuck. Is it stuck on the top side, just from being dry? Did they try to start it when it was cold out and there was some ice in the oil pump and, it snapped the coupling or something? I was thinking about this the other night. There is an oil pump. I think if I take this soft plug out, the camshaft runs in here. I can pull that out and see if the oil pump is actually stripped there. I can't remember if there's a coupling down there or what, but I guess what I'm going to do is work on the top end, see what I can see, keep going. These injectors are a bear to pull out the way it is. I'm getting it, but it's slow. And then what I'll do from there is, if I don't see anything too substantial, I'll fill all the pistons up with, the cylinders up with that ATF acetone mix and let it eat, and then I'll see if I can drop the oil pan. These are kind of an integral oil pan. That means they're part of the strength of the tractor. I don't know if I can get this out without, as it sits. You got to pull the front bolster off. I mean, it's hooked, the oil pan's hooked to the bolster. Does that mean you can slide it out? I don't know. If the bolster's got to come, the whole front end's got to come off. I don't know. So we'll keep working up top and see what happens. Okay, just went to the store. Got the old acetone and ATF. Found an empty gallon jug. We'll mix that up and dump it in here. I've got one injector, number 5, that is just stuck. So I'm just letting it soak, and I'm letting my patience recover, because I don't want to break it and do something stupid. So I'm just keep soaking the base of it. I mean, I did pull the studs out, and I can't even get it to rotate. I think the key to getting most of these out, because I don't have a puller, is just getting them to wiggle a little bit. And once they start wiggling and spinning in the bore a little bit, with a little pressure, they come out. But not this one. So I'll just take a break. I'm going to let the other 5 soak. It looks dry in there, but I don't see any, other than number 3, I don't see too many signs of any foreign debris in there. And the stuff in there could be carbon. It doesn't look like a valve or anything. Maybe I'll just take another look at it before I fill it full of mix. But either way, I think I'll let that start to soak in there. And then we'll drop the oil, see if there's anything we can see in there. And then I'm going to inspect the pan, see if that can come off without splitting the tractor, taking the front end forward or something. So we'll get after it. Not sure if I caught this on video, but no water in the oil. I just slowly cracked that thing and let it out. I didn't see one drip of water. So that disproves my theory about maybe there being a bunch of water in the block. And there's some of my acetone coming out already. And maybe like wrapping itself around the oil pump and breaking oil pump, then maybe it would start, but it wasn't pumping oil. There is no metal flake in that I can tell. So, well, I'm going to see about dropping this pan. That one injector is still fighting me, so let's just hang out for a second and see if I can get this out. Alright, I'm down here hanging out. I remember this on the 5000 when I redid this. You need to pull the front end forward to take the oil pan out. The back should clear, but if you look right here, the oil pan curls up behind this piece, and this is all the front bolster of the front end. So I guess the way it's stuck makes me feel that it's up top, like it's a stuck piston. I just, that's my gut. I've spun bearings, unfortunately, in different vehicles before, and they still rotate. They don't go all the way around, but they rotate. This thing doesn't move at all. I mean, it is stuck. So I guess for now I'm just going to let everything soak in there. I'm going to still work on that 5th injector. Hopefully that comes out. We'll get that filled up with the mix and just keep adding it and try to figure out a way to, if I can break it free. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm going to go work on that injector some more. That thing is stubborn. All right, I finally got that 5th injector out. I hate to do it, but I took this kind of a long pry bar and this is it. Yeah, you can see here. I ended up just kind of whacking it hard, but it's kind of slow like. And it finally started to twist in the bore. And then once I got that going, I could put a wrench on there and wiggle it while prying, and it popped right out. It's been a little while since I've dumped the acetone in. I think there's definitely some, it's gone past some, so I can pull the plug on the oil pan. It's definitely working its way down through some, but it's not through others. So just maybe this thing is just, I don't know, the rings got washed, or it actually was stuck from sitting and he never had it running. I don't buy that we had it running story. I just don't at the moment. Like, if this thing was running when I bought the drill, it was probably 4 years ago, it would roll over. If it was running and it was just shut off, it was parked inside, and this has actually been, I think they had issues with it right away, because it's been in this barn for a while too. So I don't know, something's up. I hope it's in deep down, I really hope this is just stuck from sitting, because that would mean that no harm was done to it, and whatever shenanigans they were pulling when they tried to get it running. And maybe everything is, I'm not like throwing shade at them for what they did, but it just seems like something's up. Something's not jiving with the story I was told. But anyways, I'm going to probably clean up a little, top everything back off with the ATF acetone mix, and then probably just take off and let it soak. I can wiggle the flywheel a little through here. So I don't know. I don't know. Just a tiny, tiny bit. So maybe it's just stuck from sitting. I don't think it's in the bottom end. At least it doesn't feel like it is. Usually something doesn't seize up down there. It'll spin a bearing. It'll still roll over. Maybe. I don't know. It just seems like chances are it's going to be the top end. So that's where I'm at this point in the game. So we'll just hope for the best, and maybe next time we'll come over, we're able to wiggle a little more and try to get it rolling over again. All right, I'm going to call it for today. Just sitting here scrubbing my arms and hands up. I got everything soaking in the cylinders. Just gonna, some of them, the fluid hasn't moved, so it's definitely stuck in a couple. Some of the others, they have gone down. I took a little, pick that was long in there and slowly pushed it in and looked to see if it was wet. So some of them, they're definitely stuck. I have no idea how they got that way. It looks really dry inside, or it looked really dry inside of the cylinder bores. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but see if they all drain down, come back some other time, and see if it's moved. And then, I don't know, try to bar it over gently or what. The next logical step, if that doesn't work, is to pull the head, an oil pan, and at this point I'm not really sure if I want to do that here. I got to talk to the owner and see if she even wants to sell it that way. I don't know what the value of this tractor would be with a stuck engine. It's stuck, I mean, it's something for us to figure out. I did do one thing to make me happy, and I put this work light back on. Just see a little bit of the hole left. It covers most of it, and it stays there, and they just put a great big bushing under there. So, little victories. That makes me happy. Did find the top link. Put that on. There should be something up here. I got to look at my 9000 that this hooks into, but just didn't want to misplace it or forget about it. Yeah, everything seems to be pretty loose on the 3-point. Yeah, needs a bath. I got to reorient the wheels. Here I am thinking way ahead. Dummy. It's got to get running first, but I don't like the wheels out this far. I got to have them on 30-inch centers. Even though I won't do any row crop work with it, maybe if I might need it, it'll be ready, and it looks a lot better in my opinion. So I did notice that in order to do that, I got to move these big pieces that hold the rims to the center. They have to go on the other side of the center in order for me to be where I need to be. The 9000 is oriented the right way for how I prefer it, and these are on the other side of the center. But I should be able to flip them out without, I don't know, thinking ahead. Don't even own it. Don't even own it yet. Walk back to the barn where this used to sit, where the drill was. The weights are still there in the corner, so that's good. But yeah, I love this tractor. I just love the patina and the originalness of it and the dealer sticker. So it's just a bummer that it's the way it is, I guess. But it's not going to deter me. So we'll let things soak and come back when time allows and keep on going. Well, we're back. Guess we've never left. Things have changed with the 8000. It's now over a year later. The seller, initially, we had her nephew come and look at it, who's a decent mechanic, and pretty much confirmed what we kind of knew, that it was stuck pretty bad. And she wanted to have it rebuilt before she sold it to me. She wanted to see it drive out of there, which I understand. But the person who was supposed to rebuild it never did, and I called about a month ago, and I was kind of pestering them, but not like bad. And we finally settled on a deal to buy it as is. So it's coming home today. It's October 2nd, and it's a yucky day, but good day to go get it. Got the old rollback truck that belongs to Dad. Gonna winch it on and take it home and try to go through the motor this winter. So should be good. We should be able to just back right in there and winch it on and take it to its new home. Okay, finally it's back. We can sit here for a little bit till we make some room in Dad's shop. I'm going to rebuild the motor on this and rebuild the motor on his Ford backhoe at the same time. They're pretty much the same motor minus 2 cylinders on the backhoe. So yeah, like I was saying while I was driving, The owner decided to sell it as is after a year. We were trying to get someone else to rebuild it that she wanted to have rebuild the motor in that shop that we were working in, but it just never worked out. And I just said, hey, I'd love to get it home, and just in case something happens. You never know, something happens to anybody, me, her. At least now it's here. It actually works out a little nicer because I will be able to rebuild it myself, and I'll know what's going into it. I can control all that. I got a really good deal on it as is, so I think while not ideal, I would have loved to have driven that home and done one of those, revivals, but this will be a different sort of a revival, I guess. And at the end of the day, I'll have a nice tractor with a brand new motor, so I don't mind spending the money on it, especially when I can do the work myself, minus the machining. So next time you see this, we'll have it in the shop. We'll tear it down and see why it did what it did. I'm assuming the oil pump probably quit turning and just locked it up, but we'll find out. But thanks for watching this one. And yeah, I guess that's it. This is a happy moment for me. I've been after this tractor for a long time, so never give up on your aspirations, and just go through life with a positive attitude and a little patience. Sometimes that's easier said than done, but yeah, another project. So we'll see you next time. Got a big one coming up. It's going to be a multi-episode, multi-year type of deal. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a crazy one. But until I see you then, keep those vibes positive. See ya.